Before he became the whole FN show, before ECW crowds screamed his initials like a war chant, before he transformed into the most innovative and unique performer the wrestling world had ever seen. Rob Van Dam was just a strange kid from Michigan with a body that refused to behave like everyone else's. But what if I told you that the entire whole FN career started because one teenager could kick higher, bend further, and dream bigger than anyone around him? And that destiny was waiting for him in the unlikeliest way? This is where the legend of Rob Van Dam truly begins. Rob Satkowski didn't fit the mold. Not as a child, not as a teenager, and definitely not in the world around him. While other kids in Battle Creek ran around playing tag or baseball, Rob was busy performing backflips in the backyard, stretching his legs behind his head, and practicing kicks that looked like they belonged in an action movie rather than a Midwestern suburb. Teachers thought he was hyperactive. Neighbors thought he was unusual. But Rob wasn't lost. He was experimenting. He was unknowingly building the foundation that would one day redefine the meaning of extreme in wrestling. Wrestling entered his life early, not as entertainment, but as a calling. Whenever a wrestler flew off the ropes on TV, Rob didn't just cheer. He studied. He looked at timing, at motion, at energy. He saw possibilities. He felt something awaken, and the universe seemed to feel it too. One night, at a small local show, fate intervened in a way that reads like mythology. A performer pulled Rob from the crowd to step into the ring for a playful spot. No training, no preparation, just instinct. The crowd roared. The promoter took notice, and the original Sheikh, the legendary, terrifying, mystical master of violent wrestling, saw something in Rob that nobody else had ever seen. Potential. Not the kind you coach, not the kind you manufacture, the kind you stumble upon once in a generation. From that moment, Rob Satkowski's life changed trajectory. Training under the Sheikh wasn't glamorous. It wasn't kind. It wasn't safe. It was old school, brutal and honest. A rite of passage only the toughest survived. But Sheikh recognized the spark, the flexibility, the calm attitude, the martial arts precision that would later make him stand out in ECW and WWE as the most uniquely gifted athlete of his era. And it was the Sheikh who gave Rob the name that would echo across arenas worldwide, Rob Van Dam. Not as a gimmick, not as a joke, but because his kicks and his presence had something cinematic, something Van Dam-like, something bigger than life. Rob didn't know it yet, but the seeds of the whole FN career had already been planted. The journey from flexible kid to extreme icon was officially underway. Before superstardom, Rob becomes a traveler of the wrestling world. He fights in Japan, where the pace is merciless and the strikes are real. He competes across Europe, where styles change city by city. He battles on the American indie scene, performing in high school gyms, smoky bingo halls, and tiny venues that smell of sweat and ambition. In every ring, the reaction is the same. People stare, jaws open, trying to figure out how a human being can move like that. Van Dam's future signature moves begin to take shape. The split-legged moonsault, the spinning heel kick, the jump from the top rope that seems to hang in the air longer than physics should allow. But he still hasn't found a home. Still hasn't found the place where he can fully be Rob Van Dam. That place is about to find him. 1996, Philadelphia, the heart of the extreme. When Rob walks into ECW, he enters an environment unlike anything he's ever seen. Crowds that scream obscenities with love. Wrestlers who treat pain like a handshake. Matches that blur the line between sport and chaos. Paul Heyman, the mastermind behind the revolution, spots Rob instantly. He doesn't just see talent. He sees a weapon. Rob becomes the Federation's crown jewel. A performer capable of doing the unbelievable nightly and making it look effortless. He crafts combinations that become iconic. The Van Daminator, the Rolling Thunder, the 5-star frog splash with impossible hang time. A calm, laid-back persona that contrasts perfectly with the carnage around him. Crowds chant his initials like a ritual RVD, he wins the ECW television championship and holds it for 700 days, nearly 2 years of dominance, innovation, and pure electricity. In ECW, Rob Van Dam doesn't just shine. He becomes the heartbeat of the company, the embodiment of everything extreme. The performer who doesn't perform, he evolves. But revolutions don't last forever. ECW collapses financially, leaving its wrestlers with broken hearts and uncertain futures. Rob feels lost. He had built something magical, and now it's gone. Paul Heyman, ever the mentor, tells him, "You're ready for the biggest stage. Don't change who you are." And so in 2001, during the Chaotic Invasion storyline, Rob Van Dam bursts onto the WWE stage. The reaction is seismic. Crowds immediately latch onto him. His style is unlike anything the WWE audience has seen. Smooth, flashy, dangerous, creative. And his confidence drips with authenticity. He becomes Mr. Monday Night, stealing shows, elevating opponents, and proving that an ECW original could thrive in the mainstream. Rob isn't just a wrestler anymore, he's a phenomenon. June 11th, 2006, the Hammerstein Ballroom. An atmosphere so electric, it feels alive. ECW. One Night Stand is a love letter to the past, and the setting for Rob's destiny. He challenges John Cena for the WWE Championship. A match drenched in symbolism, corporate champion versus the people's rebel, manufactured hero versus organic icon. The crowd unleashes chants so intense they shake the walls. Posters mock Cena, fans warn, "If Cena wins, we riot." Rob wrestles the match of his life. Fearless, creative, fluid. Every kick is a punctuation mark. Every move is a memory. After chaos erupts and Heyman counts the final 3, Rob Van Dam becomes WWE Champion. The crowd erupts like a bomb. He lifts the title not just for himself, but for ECW, for the underdogs, for the dreamers who never fit the mold. For one perfect night, the entire wrestling world revolves around RVD. But perfection is fragile, and Rob's greatest victory is followed by his most painful mistake. Just weeks after becoming champion, Rob and Sabu are pulled over during a traffic stop. The officers find marijuana. The news spreads instantly. E imposes a suspension. Rob is stripped of his titles. The dream that took decades to build collapses in a matter of days. In later interviews, RVD admits the truth. "I screwed up. I cost myself the best position I ever had." Fans are heartbroken. The company moves on, and Rob Van Dam finds himself confronting a question he's never asked before. What now? Rob steps away from the spotlight. Years of bumps, chair shots, dives, and extreme spots have taken a toll. For the first time in his life, he listens to his body instead of challenging it. He spends time acting, traveling, reconnecting with life outside the ring. He breathes, really breathes. And eventually, the fire returns. Not a raging inferno, but a steady, confident heat. In 2013, Rob Van Dam steps back into WWE. Same legendary athleticism, same connection with the crowd. Time hasn't taken anything from him. It only proved how special he really is. As years pass, a new generation of wrestlers rises, high flyers, strikers, hybrids, athletes whose styles look remarkably familiar, because all of them, knowingly or not, are children of Rob Van Dam's influence. The 5-star frog splash becomes one of wrestling's most celebrated finishes. His kicks are studied. His calm, zen-like demeanor becomes iconic. When RVD enters the WWE Hall of Fame, it's not just a ceremony. It's a confirmation of what fans knew for decades. Rob Van Dam was a visionary. Rob Van Dam's story isn't about championships. His story is about authenticity. He never changed to fit a company. He never altered his personality to please a script. He performed the way he lived, relaxed, confident, creative, and unapologetically himself. RVD represents what happens when talent and originality meet fearlessness. He's a bridge between eras, a pioneer whose presence changed the art forever. And every time a crowd chants those 3 letters, his legacy lives on V, D. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because the next chapter of wrestling history drops soon.